Right now, let's turn to our top story as we're learning more about the Devil's Den murder suspect and his reported red flag behaviors. 28-year-old teacher Andrew McGann made his first court appearance on Friday, and he was held without any bail. This guy's accused of killing married couple Clinton and Cristen Brink. This is them. They were killed while they were hiking with their two daughters at the popular state park in Arkansas. Police caught him while he was getting a haircut. And they say they found his DNA at the crime scene.
We took him into custody, and with that, we, spoke to him, and he made statements indicating that he had committed these heinous acts. And our job didn't stop there. We executed a search warrant on his house and also on the vehicle. We are still waiting a lot of testing at the crime lab. But as the colonel said, DNA that was recovered at the initial crime scene matched his DNA that we pulled last night.
McGann was an elementary school teacher and was supposed to be starting teaching a new 5th grade class in Arkansas. How about that? Well, one parent of a student from one of McGann's past schools recalls his odd behavior. Zachary Polyak says that he saw him put a little girl on his lap and say things like, quote, "I wish I could date you. I wish you could be my girlfriend." Just really nasty grooming behavior, according to that parent. And he goes on to say that Mr. McGann was giving a lot of special treatment to the girls in his class in particular, that he was giving them candy, bringing them Sonic drinks, playing tag with them, tickling them. Just really suspect behavior. So could this indicate a motive? Was he after the two young girls? Let's bring in retired Army intelligence officer and the owner of Black Ops Private Investigators, Manuel Gomez. Manuel, good morning to you. What do you think here? Could that be the motive, the girls?
Good morning, Julie. Unfortunately, I don't agree with the motive being the girls. And the reason why is because if he was looking for the girls, if this incident was too random, he would have went to a park, maybe a school park. He would have done some type of surveillance on them. He went to what we call a state park sanctuary, which unfortunately is not one anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he went there with the intent to commit a murder. I don't believe he went there to look for girls, those little kids, because if he would have, that's not the ideal place to find children. So that's why I lean towards, no, he was going there to commit a murder. And that's what my professional opinion is on that matter.
Oh, we certainly value your professional opinion, Manuel. Yeah, because you think about this, it seems that there was a big planning component to it. Am I right? The backpack, the partial obscuring of the license plate. Interesting when you say it doesn't seem like an abduction was what was planned. It seems more like a homicide. Would you dig a little deeper? What makes you think that he had intention to do a murder or multiple murders all along?
Well, Julie, I have to say, first, I don't even think this is his first one. It was too well planned. He picked the perfect area. Very little cell service. 2, an area that was not traveled by many people. He picked a very isolated location. 3, he's been transferred from state to state as a teacher, moving his locations. I will not be shocked, Julie, that during this investigation, if they find that there's other people who have been stabbed similar to this situation, because I don't believe this was his first one. And then finally, he taped up his license plate. He was concealing his vehicle so that they were not able to identify it easily. Okay, he went there with the intent to commit murder. I do not believe it was those girls. And I want to say, I thank God for the heroic efforts of that mother for being brave enough to grab her children and bring them to safety. It's unfortunate that her love is what killed her, because she went back to see if her husband was okay.
Manuel, you're so right. Yeah, hero parents. You're right, and we're going to dive more into it during this show. Thank you for that. You're right. I share in those sentiments with you that these parents saved their children's lives. It was like they sacrificed themselves when Dad was trying to fend him off first, according to police. And as you said, Mom got those two girls to safety and then came back to rescue Dad or try to help Dad in some way, and it was just unfortunately too late, and then she was attacked too. Manuel, the police agree with you. The question was asked at a press conference about whether there seems to be any motivation with the girls, whether the girls were targets. Let's listen to what police said.
From what we know right now, we have no indication to suggest that the girls were his target. I can tell you that we have no reason to believe that there was any known association between our suspects and our victims. There's nothing to indicate that at all. It appears to be a completely random event. As far as the weapon that was used, it was a knife. Our victims died by stab wounds.
Okay, Manuel, you hear what he said there? Yeah, they agree with you. Let me show you something else, Manuel, and get your take on it. So this guy apparently has bounced around a lot. Mr. McGann here, he was an elementary school teacher in Texas for 1 year, 2022 to 2023, placed on administrative leave following concerns related to classroom management. Professional judgment and student favoritism. Okay, so he resigns in May and then starts a new teaching job in Oklahoma. He moves for the next school year. And then we know he resigned from that job in Oklahoma to move to Arkansas to start this 5th grade teacher job. Boy, that's a lot of jobs. The guy's only 28. He's living in 3 different states, 3 different jobs. Manuel, what do you think?
Well, you know, Julie, you brought up a beautiful point, because when you talk about him being transferred from job to job, these parents reported that they were he was grooming their children, putting them on a lap, giving them candy, giving them special favors to the girls. He should have been reported to the police back then. This should have been stopped back then. But the problem with a lot of these schools is they're too busy protecting the school's image, so they let him go. And that is the problem. You let this predator go, which he could have been brought before the police at that time. And this is unfortunate.
I mean, well, you're bringing up such a great point. Perfect point to ask our brand new guest. So happy to have on the show the sheriff in Erie County, Pennsylvania, Chris Campanelli. Sheriff, good morning to you. Thank you for coming on with us. And I know your heart breaks for this family, these 3 girls orphaned. And I say 3 because we know there was another daughter who did not go along on the hike. And now these 3 children are left without mom and dad. And to the point Manuel just raised, I would love for you to speak to that. It seems like there were red flags in this guy's past. He's bouncing around from job to job. There's questions about his classroom management, favoritism with students, parents. One parent at least has gone on the record saying he thought the behavior was grooming behavior. What do you think we can do more when it comes to paying attention to red flags with people like this guy?
First, I have to say I agree with Manuel. I think, you know, these school districts they're not taking these things seriously enough. They're worried about their image. I think what has to happen is their administrations have to have more training. They have to be aware that when these things are brought to their attention, they have to be taken care of immediately. You can't just sit on your laurels and wait for it to happen.
Right, Sheriff. You know, and I would love to ask your opinion on something about this. Manuel and I were just talking with this guy moving around and the way he carried out this crime, allegedly. We know, if we believe what the police are putting out there about him, if we believe that he was the one who did this crime and did it the way they say he did, makes you wonder if this is the first time, he may have committed a murder. I'm curious what you think about that.
I think, you know, honestly, the fact that he's moved around so much in such a short period of time, multiple jobs, I mean, you have to think that something is in the background there. Something is going on in his life. And definitely, I mean, I think they should investigate those areas where he was residing before, those other states, and see if anything coincides with each other. You know, if they can tie those things together, they probably have a good case against him.
Right. You know, I love what you said, Sheriff Campanelli, about going back to those states. Tell us, kind of take us behind the scenes. How might you do that? Who might you want to talk to see if anybody has any information that could be telling about this defendant?
Sure. I think what the agencies would have to do is they would have to contact the local jurisdictions in those areas where he was residing. That'd be the first step, and have them, they'd have to do some canvassing, try to figure out if anything else matched up with him. Like they have the DNA evidence in this case. Maybe there's something else around there.
Right. You hit the nail on the head, Sheriff. That DNA, you're right. They've got his DNA there. Put it into the system CODIS, right? Manuel, that could be very telling how you run that on through. Maybe you get some hits elsewhere. Manuel, same question to you. Any places you'd go in particular if you wanted to investigate this character?
Well, I agree with the sheriff. I would exactly go to his locations and the state parks in that area and see if there was any stabbings. But there is a problem here, Julie, in this case. And the problem is that the sheriff can concur with me that these law enforcement agencies' computer databases are not linked. So if the DNA is registered for a stabbing in Pennsylvania, you won't find it in Arkansas when you arrest him, and you won't find it in Texas. We need to now start linking our national databases so that all law enforcement agencies are on one database so that we can get help and they can know who to arrest, who to keep, and has he done the crime before in another state. In essence, improving our law enforcement capabilities and helping our champions to bring justice to people, which are the sheriffs and the police, to be able to do a better job.
Oh, I love that, Manuel. Sheriff Campanelli, your thoughts on that suggestion, please.
Oh, I agree 100%. It's just like with the fingerprints, there's a national fingerprint database. Why can't it be with DNA as well? The more communication agencies have makes it simpler for us to communicate and to put these bad guys behind bars, and that's exactly where they belong.
It's so true, and thank you for all the great work you do doing that day in and day out. Sheriff Chris Campanelli, I hope you will come back on opening statements again. It was wonderful having you this morning.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Anything for you.
You're the best, Sheriff. Take good care. Be safe. Manuel Gomez is coming with us. We're thankful for that, and we're thankful for you.